Radha Krishna Padan Sahagan Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu bhaiva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakti Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunnavadi Paśyanty Deshatarine Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire. Hare Krishna. Continuing to study and discuss from the third chapter of the first canto, which is Krishna is the source of all incarnations. And Srila Sud Goswami continues to explain according to the questions inquired by the sages. They wanted to know the adventures that the Lord performs in his Purusha avatar, on his Purusha incarnation. 1 minute. So here one word in yesterday's verse, it is talking about Sambhutam. You see the verse? Yesterday, the first verse. Suta uvacha jajagagre parusham rūpam bhagavan mahad adibhi sambhutam shodasham kalam ādau loka-vistaraḥ. So Sambhutam means that it is created. What it means that created? That means it was not there. And how it is created? This material creation is there with the 16 principles. Shodash Kalam. So we saw that Srila Prabhupada explains that the manifestation, the incarnation of the Lord in the form of Purusha avatar, he begins with the Karnodakshayi Vishnu. And then now the second verse. Yasyāmbhasi śayānasya yoga-nidrāṁ vitanvataḥ nābhi-hradāmbujād āsīd nābhi-hradāmbujād āsīd brahmā viśva-sṛjāṁ yasyāmbhasi śayānasya. So, when the Supreme Lord manifests in the form of Mahavishnu, Karnodakshayi Vishnu, and he gives glance on Pradhan, then the material creation begins. The Mahatattva is agitated by the three modes. The Pradhan converts into Mahatattva and creation begins. And the Karnodakshayi Vishnu, he expands and he enters into each planet, into each universe, as we read yesterday. So as part of the Purusha lies down within the water of the universe. This is the second Purusha avatar, which is Garbhodakshai Vishnu. And from his nābhi, from his navel, ambujat āsīd. Ambuja is the lotus flower. It sprouts, it manifests. And from the lotus flower, Lord Brahma appears, who will be accepted as the grandfather of all living entities, and also the engineer of this material world. From the navel lake of his holy body sprouts the lotus stem, and from the lotus flower atop this stem, Brahma, the master of all engineers in the universe, become manifest. This is how this material creation begins. This was the inquiry that what are the adventures of the Lord in his Purusha incarnation. So here in detail it is being explained. More explanation is being given by Srila Sutta Goswami. Actually, Prabhupada gives the purport that the first Purusha is the Karnodakshai Vishnu. From his skin holes, innumerable universes sprung up. How difficult it seems for a modern man to accept this principle that innumerable universes, they manifest from the hair skin holes or the hair holes of the transcendental body of Lord Vishnu. And in each and every universe, the Purusha enters as the Garbhodakshai Vishnu. He is lying within the half of the universe which is full with the water of his body. And from the navel of Garbhodakshai Vishnu has sprung the stem of the lotus flower, the birthplace of Brahma. This is also a very extraordinary birth. Brahma is said to be a yonija, that he is not born from the womb. It does not appear from the mother's womb. He is directly delivered by the Supreme Lords, Sankarshana. And he does not enter any mother's womb. So Brahma, who is the father of all living beings and the master of all demigod engineers, engaged in the perfect design and working of the universal order. So this is how this material world is administered, with Lord Brahma being the head. Within the stem of the lotus, there are 14 divisions of planetary system. So this is very amazing, that the stem which sprouts from the navel of Lord Garbhodakshai Vishnu and up to the topmost place, or the highest position is on the stem, is the flower petal. So there are different planetary systems. And where are these different planetary systems? On the various stages of the stem on which Lord Brahma appears. So within this stem of the lotus, there are 14 divisions of planetary systems, and earthly planets are situated in the middle. So practically there are 7 upwards and 7 below. Upwards, there are other better planetary systems, and the topmost system is called the Brahmalok or the Satyalok. So this stem that comes out from the navel of Lord Garbhodakshai Vishnu. So the topmost position of the petal, where the petal finally rests, that is the spiritual world. Oh, sorry, that is the Brahmalok. Sorry, that is Brahmalok. Because Brahma is on the top. And below Brahma, there are various loks, Tapalok, Janalok, Maharlok. So all these planets are there. And the middle one is the earthly planet, and below the earthly planets are the planets of Patal-lok. So this entire creation is within the stem that sprouts from the lotus of Garbhodakshai Vishnu. Within the stem of the lotus, there are 14 divisions of planetary systems, and in the earthly planets are situated in the middle. Upwards, there are other better planetary system, and the topmost system is called Brahmalok or Satyalok. Brahmalok is many times also considered as Satyalok. Downwards from the earthly planets system, there are 7 lower planetary systems inhabited by the asuras and similar other materialistic living beings. From Garbhodakshai Vishnu, there is expansion of Shirodakshai Vishnu, which is the Paramatma in the heart, or the collective Paramatma of all living beings. He is called Hari, and from him, all incarnations in the universe are expanded. Therefore, the conclusion is that the Purusha avatar is manifested in 3 features. First, the Karnodakshai Vishnu or the Mahavishnu, who creates the aggregate material ingredients in the Mahatattva. Second, the Garbhodakshai Vishnu, who enters into each and every atom. And third, the Shirodakshai Vishnu, who is the Paramatma of every material object, organic or inorganic. One who knows these planetary features of the personality of Godhead knows properly. So one who knows these planetary features of the personality of Godhead knows Godhead properly, and thus the knower becomes freed from material conditions of birth, death, old age, and disease, as it is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. This verse is there, Prabhupada quotes in the Bhagavad Gita. Anyone remembers about the 3 Vishnus? What is this verse about the 3 Vishnus? And here Prabhupada is saying that whoever knows about the 3 Vishnus, he is liberated. Anyone knows the verse? It is there in the Bhagavad Gita. Srila Prabhupada is saying. It's not directly in the verse, but it is quoted in the purport. Srila Prabhupada is quoted in the purport. Narayan Prabhu opened 7.4. Bhagavad Gita 7.4 chapter. Talking about these 3 Vishnus. And whoever knows these 3 Vishnu, he will be released. He will be free from this material entanglement or existence. Yeah, very good. You have opened this. This is the verse. Vishnu stutini rūpāni purushakyani atho vidu ekam tu mahata srishti dvitiyam tu anda samsistam samastitam titiyam sarvabhutastam tani gyatva vimuchyate. The material creation, Lord Krishna's plenary expansion, assumes 3 Vishnu. The first, Mahavishnu, creates the total material energy, known as the Mahatattva. The second, Garbhodakshai Vishnu, enters into the universe to create diversities in each of them. And the third, Shirodakshai Vishnu, is diffused as the all-pervading super soul in all the universes and is known as Paramatma. He is present even within the atoms. Anyone who knows these 3 Vishnu can be liberated from material entanglement. Hare Krishna. Stop this. In this shloka, the subject matter of Mahavishnu is summarized. Mahavishnu lies down in some part of the spiritual sky by his own free will. Thus, he lies in the ocean of Karan Samudra, or it is called the Kaushal Ocean, from where he glances over the material nature, and the Mahatattva is at once created. Thus, electrified by the power of the Lord, the material nature at once creates innumerable universes. Just as in due course, a tree decorates itself with innumerable grown fruits. The seed of the tree is sown by the cultivator. And the tree or creeper in due course becomes manifest with so many fruits. Nothing can take place without a cause. The Karana ocean is therefore called the Kaushal ocean. Karan means Kaushal. We should not foolishly accept the atheistic theory of creation. The descriptions of the atheist is given in the Bhagavad Gita. The atheist does not believe in the creator, but he cannot give a good theory to explain the creation. Material nature has no power to create within the power of the Purusha, without the power of the Purusha. Just as Prakriti or woman cannot produce a child without the connection of a Purush or man. So here it is being emphasized that how wonderfully, what was the adventures of the Lord in his Purusha avatar. So one of the adventure is that the Lord is creating. He is making Lord Brahma manifest. But Brahma is manifesting without the support or without the help of Lakshmi Devi. He does not require Lakshmi Devi. So here it is said that material nature has no power to create without the power of the Purusha, just as Prakriti or woman cannot produce a child without the connection of a Purusha of man. So that is true. So Prakriti or female cannot produce a child without the union with the man. But here we see in Garbhodakshai Vishnu that there is no need of any union. And Brahmaji comes, he appears just from the stem of the lotus flower which is there. Material nature has no power to create without the power of the Purusha, just as Prakriti or woman cannot produce a child without the connection of a Purusha or man. It is true, but it is not vice versa. The Supreme Lord creates without any connection with Prakriti. The Purusha impregnates while the Prakriti delivers. We should not expect milk from the fleshy bags of the neck of the goat, although they looks like breast nipples. So this is a very famous example that how there is illusion, that the fleshy bags on the neck of the goat, sometimes you see on the neck of the goat also it is hanging. Not in all goats, but in some goats. Although they look like breastly nipples. Similarly, we should not expect any creative power from the material ingredient. We must believe in the power of the Purusha who impregnates Prakriti or nature. Because the Lord wished to lie down in meditation, the material energy created innumerable universes at once. And in each of them, the Lord lays down. And thus all the planets and the different paraphernalia were created at once by the will of the Lord. The Lord has unlimited potencies and thus he can act as he likes by perfect planning. Although personally he has nothing to do, no one is greater than or equal to him. No, okay. This is the verdict of the Vedas. So this talks about, we all know, we have heard so many times about the manifestation of Garbhodakshai Vishnu, which is coming from Mahavishnu or Karnodakshai Vishnu. It is believed that all the universal planetary systems are situated on the extensive body of the Purusha. He has nothing to do with the created material ingredients. His body is eternally in spiritual existence par excellence. The conception of the Virat Rupa or the Vishwa-Rupa of the Supreme Absolute Truth is specially meant for the neophytes. So this is the universal form or the form which is exhibited by the Lord in this material creation. And Prabhupada is saying that the conception of Virat Rupa or Vishwa Rupa of the Supreme Absolute Truth is specially meant for neophyte who can hardly think of the transcendental form of the Absolute Personality of God. To him, a form means something of this material world, and therefore an opposite conception of the Absolute is necessary in the beginning to concentrate the mind on the powerful extension of the Lord. As stated above, the Lord extends his potency in the form of Mahatattva, which includes all material ingredients. The extension of power by the Lord and the Lord himself personally are one in one sense. But at the same time, the Mahatattva is different from the Lord. Therefore, the potency of the Lord and the Lord are simultaneously different and non-different. The conception of this Vishwarup especially for the impersonalist, is thus non-different from the eternal form of the Lord. The eternal form of the Lord exists prior to the modes of material nature. The very same transcendental form of the Lord is manifested by his internal potency in the form of his multifarious manifestations of incarnation as level. This eternal form of the Lord exists prior to the creation of the Mahatattva, and it is stressed here that the eternal form of the Lord is par excellence spiritual or transcendental to the modes of material nature. The very same transcendental form of the Lord is manifested by his internal potency, and the formation of his multifarious manifestations of incarnation is always at the same transcendental quality without any touch of the Mahatattva. So this technicality is being explained, that how the Purusha incarnations take place, how this material manifestation take place. One important aspect in all these verses is to understand, as Prabhupada is again and again pointing out in the commentary also, that this is not the eternal form. It is created. That means it has a beginning. And it does not exist in the spiritual world. This Virat Roop or this universal form which is being talked about, it is only for the neophytes. As Prabhupada says, the conception of Virat Rupa or Vishwarup is specially meant for the neophytes who can hardly think of the transcendental form of personality of God. Okay. And the formation of his multifarious manifestations of incarnation is always of the same transcendental quality without any touch of the Mahatattva. Should we take one more verse? We have sufficient time. A lot of time is there. Let us complete this section. This section is the first 5 verses where Srila Sudha Goswami is further explaining the adventures of the Lord in his Purusha incarnation. Paśyanty ado rūpaṁ adabhra-cakṣuṣā sahasra-pādoru-bhujānanādbhutam sahasra-mūrdha-śravaṇākṣi-nāsikaṁ sahasra-mauly-ambara-kuṇḍalollasat. The devotees with their perfect eyes see the transcendental form of the Purusha who has thousands of legs. But those who do not have the vision, for them, there is only one option. The devotees with their perfect eyes see the transcendental form of the Purusha who has thousands of legs, thighs, arms, and faces, all extraordinarily. In that body, there are thousands of heads, ears, eyes, and noses. They are decorated with thousands of helmets and glowing earrings and are adored with garlands. So this is the Virat Rupa or the Vishwa-Rupa. And detail about it is given very extensively in the 11th chapter. 11th chapter talks about these elaborate details. Vishwarup. So here it is said that with our present material senses, we cannot perceive anything of the transcendental Lord. So we cannot see even the Vishwarup. Our present senses are to be rectified by the process of devotional service. And then the Lord Himself becomes revealed to us. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is confirmed that the transcendental Lord can be perceived only by pure devotional service. Anyone know this word? That the transcendental Lord can be perceived only by pure devotional service. Which verse is this? Transcendental Lord can be perceived only by his performing devotional service. Yes, Dashil Bro.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु
Hare Krishna.
भक्त्या तो अनन्या शक्या अहमेव विधु अर्जुन
ज्ञातुम दृष्टिम च तत्वेन प्रविष्टिम च पार्थम्. But here, that verse does not completely fit. That is there. But which verse is Prabhupada speaking here? There is one more verse which is more prominent.
भक्त्या माम अभिजानाति.
Yes, bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yasyāsmi tatvata. So the transcendental Lord can be perceived only by pure devotional service. So it is confirmed in the Vedas that only devotional service can lead one to the side of the Lord, and only devotional service can reveal him. In the Brahma Samhita, although it is said that the Lord is always visible to the devotees whose eyes have been anointed with the tinge of devotional service. Very famous Brahma Samhita verse, Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena Santa Sadev Hridayeshu Vilokyanti. So we have to take information of the transcendental form of the Lord from persons who have actually seen Him with the perfect eyes smeared with devotional service. In the material world, also we do not always see things without our own eyes, with our own eyes. We sometimes see through the experience of those who have actually seen or done things. If that is the process of experiencing a mundane object, it is more perfectly applicable in the mantras recommended. From the persons who have actually seen Him with perfect eyes smeared with devotional service. In the material world also, we do not see things with our own eyes. We sometimes see through the experience of those who have actually seen or done things. If that is the process for experiencing a mundane object, it is more perfectly applicable in matters transcendental. So only the patience and perseverance, only with patience and perseverance can we realize the transcendental subject matters regarding the absolute truth. Patience and perseverance. Can we realize the transcendental subject matter regarding the absolute truth and its different forms? He is formless to the neophytes, but he is transcendental He is in his transcendental form to expert servitor. One more verse in this section. Etan nānāvatārāṇāṁ nidhānaṁ bījam avyayam yasyāvayava-saṁsthānaiḥ sṛjyanti deva-tiryaṅ-narādayaḥ. Just not Narādayaḥ. This form, the second manifestation of the Purusha. What is the second manifestation of the Purusha form called? Devashish?
Vishnu, Garbhadaksha Vishnu.
Yes, very good. Garbhadaksha Vishnu. Is the source and indestructible seed of multivarious incarnations within the universe. He is the source and he is also the seed of multifarious incarnations within the universe. From the particles and portions of his form, different living entities like demigods, men, and others are also created. The Purusha, after creating innumerable universes in the Mahatattva, entered in each of them as the second Purusha, Garbhodakshai Vishnu. When he saw that within the universe there was only darkness and space without a resting place, he filled half of the universe with water from his own perspiration and laid himself down on the same water. This water is called Garbhodak. Thus, then from his navel, the stem of the lotus flower sprouted, and on the flower petals, the birth of Brahma, or the master engineer of the universal plan, took place. Brahma became the engineer of the universe, and the Lord himself took charge of the maintenance of the universe as Vishnu. Brahma was generated from the Rajoguna of Prakriti, or the mode of passion in nature. And Shiva Lord took charge of the maintenance of the universe as Vishnu. Brahma was generated from Rajoguna of Prakriti, or the mode of passion in nature. Vishnu became the Lord of the mode of goodness. Vishnu being transcendental to all the modes, is always aloof from materialistic affection. This has already been explained. From Brahma, there is Rudra Shiva, who is in charge of the mode of ignorance or darkness. He destroys the whole creation by the will of the Lord. Therefore, the three, namely Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, are incarnations of the Garbhodakshai Vishnu. From Brahma, the other demigods, like Daksha, Marichi, Manu, and many others, became incarnated to generate living entities within the universe. This Garbhodakshai, etc., the Garbhodakshai Vishnu is the Lord of the universe. And although he appears to be lying within this universe, he is always transcendental. This has already been explained. The Vishnu, who is the plenary portion of the Garbhodakshai Vishnu, is the super soul of the universal life. And he is known as the maintainer of the universe. From Brahma, the other demigods, like Daksha, Marich, Manu, and many others, become incarnated to generate living entities within the universe. This Garbhodakshaya Vishnu is glorified in the Vedas in the hymns of Garbhastuti, which begin with the description of the Lord having thousands of hood. The Garbhodakshaya Vishnu is the Lord of the universe. Although he appears to be lying within the universe, he is always transcendental. This also has already been stated. The Vishnu, who is the plenary portion of the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, is the super soul of the universal life, and he is known as the maintainer of the universe as Shirodakshai. Vishnu is the super soul, and the maintenance work is done by the Shirodakshai, this Paramatma, the same. So the three features of the original Purusha are thus understood, and all incarnations within the universe are emanation from this Shirodakshai Vishnu. This is very important. So all avatars are going to come from Paramatma or the Shirodakshai Vishnu. Prabhupada has given a lot of support. In different millennium, there are different incarnations and they are innumerable. Although some of them are very prominent, such as Matsya Kurma, Varaha, Rama, Narsimha, Vaman, and others. These incarnations are called the Leela incarnations. Then there are qualitative incarnations such as Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva or Rudra, who take charge of the different modes of material nature. Lord Vishnu is not different from the personality of Godhead, is in the marginal position between the personality of Godhead and the living entities or jivas. Brahma is always a jiva tattva. The highest pious living being or the greatest devotee of the Lord is empowered with the potency of the Lord for creation, and he is called Brahma. This power is like the power of the sun reflected in valuable stones and jewels. When there is no such living being to take charge of the post of Brahma, the Lord himself becomes Brahma and takes charge of the post. This is very important. So we should never ever underrate or undermine any demigod and not even Lord Brahma. Brahma is in charge. And many times Krishna accepts the position of Brahma to continue the service. Lord Shiva is not an ordinary living being. He is the plenary portion of the Lord, because Lord Shiva is in direct touch with the material nature. He is not exactly in the same transcendental position as Lord Vishnu. The difference is like between the milk and yogurt. Yogurt is nothing but milk, and yet it cannot be used in place of milk. The next incarnations are the Manus within 1 day's duration of the life of Brahma, which is calculated by a solar year as 4,300,000 into 1,000 years. There are 14 Manus. Therefore, there are 5,040 into 100 or 504,000 Manus in the duration of Brahma's life. There are innumerable universes within one Brahma in each of them, and all of them are created and annihilated during the breathing time of the Purusha. Therefore, one can simply imagine how many millions of Manus there are during the breath of the Purusha. Now, we all know that in a day of Brahma, there are 14 Manus. Like we have 12 hours, Brahmaji's watch is bigger, mega. It has 14 hours, and the duration of each Manus is also very minuscule as compared to Lord Brahma's terrain. Then there are the Yuga avatars. So the names are mentioned that who are the 14 Manus. There are 14 Manus. These are the names of the one set of 14 Manus governing 4,300,000 solar years as described above. Then there are the Yuga avatars or the incarnations of the millennia. The Yuga avatars known as Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, and Kali Yuga. The incarnation of each Yuga is in different color. The color which are available, the colors are white, red, black, and yellow. In the Dwapar Yuga, Lord Krishna is black color appeared, and in the Kali Yuga, Lord Chaitanya in color yellow appeared. So all the incarnations of the Lord are mentioned in the revealed scriptures. There is no scope for an impostor to become an incarnation. For an incarnation must be mentioned in the Shastras. An incarnation does not declare himself to be the incarnation of the Lord, but great sages agree by the symptoms mentioned in the revealed scriptures. The feature of the incarnation of the particular type of mission for which he has to execute are mentioned in the revealed scripture. So when the Lord will appear, where he will appear, and for what purpose he will appear, everything is there in the revealed scriptures. Apart from the direct incarnation, there are innumerable empowered incarnations. They are mentioned in the revealed scriptures as Shaktya-Veshavtar. Such incarnations are directly as well as indirectly empowered. When they are directly empowered by the Lord, they are called incarnations. But when they are indirectly empowered, they are called vibhutis. Direct empowered incarnation are the Kumaras, Narad, Prithu, Shesha, Ananta. As far as vibhutis are concerned, they are very explicitly described in the Bhagavad Gita in the Vibhuti Yoga chapter. Which is the Vibhuti Yoga chapter? Which chapter is Vibhuti Yoga?
Was it 10?
Yes, 10th chapter. Vibhuti Yoga or Krishna's opulence. Direct empowered incarnations are the Kumaras, Narad, Prithu, Shesha, Ananta. As far as vibhutis are concerned, they are very explicitly described in the Bhagavad Gita and the Vibhuti Yoga chapter. And for all the different types of incarnation, the fountainhead is the Garbhodakshai Vishnu. So this completes the first section. Mostly we did reading only, not much explanation of about the adventures in his incarnation as the Purusha avatars. And from 6 to 27, Srila Sutta Goswami will explain about the incarnations of the Lord, the avatars of the Lord. Okay, so I'll stop here. If you have something to contribute, please do. Yes, Sonika? Boliye.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, in second verse, it was explained in purport that Garbhodakshai Vishnu enters in the universe and in each atoms. And next, Purusha Avatar, Kshirodakshai Vishnu enters in each organic and inorganic matters. So, Prabhuji, how it is different? Means atom represents the inorganic matter.
No, see, your moon is when it is said that Garbhodakshai Vishnu enters into each atom. So how Garbhodakshai Vishnu enters? When it is being said that who enters in each atom? Which Vishnu?
Garbhodakshai Vishnu, Prabhuji.
No, normally it is not Garbhodakshai. Garbhodakshai Vishnu enters into the universe. Yeah. And he reclines or he lays down in the water. And from his lotus stem, Brahma appears and material creation begins. And then there is further expansion of the Garbhodakshai Vishnu that he enters into every living entity's heart, into each atom. That is called the Paramatma or the Kshirodakshai Vishnu. But why Prabhupada is mentioning here that Garbhodakshai Vishnu enters into each atom? Can anyone answer? You are only answering, raising your hand.
No, Prabhuji, this was my question only.
This is your question, huh? Yeah. So who can answer? Please pay attention. Don't take it very easily. Still, it is not understood. Yes, Boli Ganesh Prabhu.
Prabhuji, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu is the founder of all incarnation. So, in a way, indirectly, He's
You are
entered
getting
into
into more confusion, June. All the incarnation come from Garbhodakshai Vishnu.
no, Prabhuji. Further, that Shirodaksha Vishnu.
But here it is mentioned that he is the seed. That is what is the bījam. Yeah. So how it is mentioned that Garbhodakshai Vishnu? He is the seed, actually he is the source and seed of all forms. And what is Shirodakshai Vishnu? Shirodakshai Vishnu is the further expansion of Garbhodakshai Vishnu. So Garbhodakshai Vishnu enters in the form of Shirodakshai Vishnu because he is both the source and the seed. समझ में आया नहीं समझ में आया?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Anyone else? Pranam Prabhu, you received the English Bhagavad Gita?
Yes, Prabhuji, I received.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Manoram Prabhu?
Prabhuji, yes, two types of incarnations are discussed here.
Yeah.
So, in material creation, the incarnations like Lord Shiva, Brahma, and Vishnu, are they the Vibhuti incarnations or they are different, Prabhuji?
They're gunas, guna. They are guna. Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva are guna, na? The three gunas. Guna avatar. They're classified in the guna avatars. They are connected with the material modes. So please try to understand this entire Purusha avatar is for the purpose of only one, which is material creation. And if you see the first verse, it is already saying it is sambhutam. That it comes into existence means what? That it is not eternal. Only for the manifestation of the material world. Yes, Sonika?
Prabhuji, one more clarification. It was mentioned by Srila Prabhupada that there was no concept of Virat Roop in spiritual world. So here in the Virat Roop comes through Garbhodakshai Vishnu.
See, first to understand that the Virat Roop Prabhupada says is only for the neophytes. Those who cannot concentrate on the transcendental, the spiritual form of the Lord. Why? Because the conditioned soul can only connect and relate to matter. Whereas the Supreme Lord, there is nothing material. No material element is there. But the Virat Rupa is the temporary manifestation for this material creation. So is the Purusha Avatar also. Purusha Avatar is only for the material creation. And here, because it is said that he is the source and seed of all forms. So obviously he is there for the Virat Rupa also. So all these forms, the Guna avatars, the Yuga avatars, the Manvantar avatars, everyone, and even the Virat Rupa, because he is the source and seed. So he is the one from where it is manifesting. But it is still not permanent. It does not exist in the spiritual world. It is only for this material creation. Does it
Okay,
make?
clear, Prabhuji.
Yeah, okay. So I'll close, we'll close. And from tomorrow we will see the incarnations of the Lord in his pastimes, Leela avatars, how he appears. A great detail is mentioned here by Srila Shuddha Goswami. He will talk about 22 incarnations. Thank you very much. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada.